Hello and thanks for joining us for Arts 24. Paris's Louvre continues to grip global headlines with further arrests over the dramatic multi-million-dollar jewel heist that stunned the art world. As the investigation unfolds, the world's most visited museum is forging ahead with an ambitious new chapter, the unveiling of its reimagined Gallery of the Five Continents. It's a global collaboration that puts diverse cultures side by side, showing how their stories connect. Charlotte Lamb and Loic Chalavant report.
Lucius Aelius Caesar face to face with Vanuatu's Blue Man, a Roman emperor staring down a high-ranking officer from Malo Island. Two representations of power that would normally never meet. Except here, inside the Gallery of Five Continents.
The beauty of this space lies in the intricacies, in the spaces between the works, and in the way the works speak to each other. It wasn't just a matter of juxtaposing similar works. The idea was also that the encounter would produce meaning, that something would happen in the dialogue between a Greek antiquity and an oceanic sculpture, and that it would be a narrative that touches on universal questions.
Nearly 3 years of collaboration between the teams of the Louvre and the Musée Quai Brunely, and 120 carefully selected works grouped by theme and designed to challenge how we think about authority, death, birth, and even the sacred.
For example, behind me is a wooden Christ on Palm Sunday, intended to be paraded through the streets of a European city, precisely to manifest the presence of this God-made man in the public space, and at the same time, there are objects in this room that also embody the impossibility of representing the divine. When it has no form, when it is a spirit, when it is abstract, untouchable, distant, and yet something happens in the way that the objects relate to each other.
A gallery that challenges the idea of borders and leans into humanity's unanswered questions, all the while avoiding the traps of exoticism and Orientalism.
The idea was to move away from this somewhat primitivist view to show the quality of the works, which were sometimes considered, and I'm talking about another generation here, as idols or fetishes, which were words that were often used. We are not ethnocentric, we are not Eurocentric. On the contrary, everyone is welcome and each culture brings its own response.
An artistic reaction to those questions shared across humanity, inviting visitors to build their own narratives and further cultural dialogue between continents.
And as the Louvre encourages fresh cultural conversations inside its galleries, there's another change on the horizon, this time at the ticket desk. If you're hoping to catch a glimpse of the Mona Lisa on your next trip to Paris, it's about to cost you more. Tickets for non-EU visitors will rise to €32 from January, a jump of €10. The museum says it's trying to steady its finances after a difficult year. Olivia Salazar-Winspear has the details.
Tourists flock from all over the world to admire its many treasures, especially this little Da Vinci portrait. Almost half of visitors to the Louvre have travelled to Paris from another continent. But a trip to this notorious museum will soon be more expensive for them, as the ticket price is set to rise from 22 to €32 in January, an exception among major European institutions. Reactions to the news have been mixed. Some tourists are understanding.
It ain't no different. You tax us, we tax you back.
It's a lot, but coming to Paris is a lot anyway, and I'm not going to skip the Louvre just because it's a little bit more, you know.
Others are more critical.
The attractions itself, maybe visiting fewer of them, be more selective.
But it's already expensive coming here. I think making it more expensive is going to make it more difficult for people to want to come.
Other sites around the world charge the same price for entry, regardless of nationality. €18 for the Colosseum in Rome, 23 for the Statue of Liberty, and 15 for the Prado Museum in Madrid. This price hike could bring in €20 million per year for the Louvre, a welcome cash injection since the museum needs €410 million for essential renovations. Yet some unions say targeting certain visitors is fundamentally unfair.
I'd be inclined to see this as discrimination. There should be no distinction between citizens of the European Economic Area and others. It's tantamount to blocking access to public services.
Non-European tourists may have to envisage a larger budget for future holidays in Paris, especially since 4 other sites are planning to apply targeted price hikes too: the Sainte-Chapelle, the Paris Opera, the Château de Chambord, and even Versailles.
Well, from Paris to Tokyo and back again, an art form that's conquered the world is taking over the Guimet Museum. The institution is pulling back the curtain on manga, its evolution, its heroes and its roots. From One Piece to Astro Boy, the icons are all there, but so are the ancient scrolls that shaped them. Yong Chim and Antonia Kerrigan explore this sweeping retrospective.
Luffy from One Piece, Astro Boy, comic book icons that have transfixed fans all over the world are now in pride of place at the Paris Guimet Museum, retracing manga to its roots and telling the stories of its heroes.
Sangoku, the Monkey King, was first and foremost a Chinese classic. He was imported to Japan, and there he became a major hero in the mangas of Akira Toriyama. What's interesting is that the Japanese don't see manga as a single art form. For them, it's cinema, television, and the comic book.
But modern manga is just one iteration of an art form that dates back as early as the 15th century.
For centuries in Japan, they've been telling stories through text and images. For instance, in this exhibition, we have scrolls where you can see dialogue in the image. It's close to manga, not yet speech bubbles, just text. Calligraphy directly above the characters.
These illustrated scrolls are called emaki and were the main narrative form in ancient Japan. This one dates from 1802, but is a copy of a much earlier work. For Victor Dermot, a young French mangaka, the link to modern manga is undeniable.
I find it really impressive, the brushstrokes that he used. They're the same ones that we see today, and it seems always that it's been that way. I can see it's old because the paper's really yellow, but this aesthetic is now a big part of popular culture. The way they show movement, it's mad. The eyes are carried naturally through the story by the brushstrokes.
Industrial printing in the 19th century widened access to these art forms and allowed fandoms to develop around particular characters and stories, later ushering in international commercial success. A drawing style with its own codes and languages that Victor Dermot studied in Japan before bringing what he learnt home to France to tell French stories.
I'm from a working-class neighborhood here in France, and my mangas tell the story of what happens there, not things that are happening in Japan. It was about creating something very French, but as manga as possible, while also respecting the rules.
France is the world's second biggest consumer of manga after Japan. Although unmistakably Japanese in its aesthetic, the art form is universal and in constant evolution.
Next then, veteran sci-fi filmmaker James Cameron is back with another visual spectacle, Avatar: Fire and Ash, the third film in the franchise. Picking up after The Way of Water, it follows the Sully family as they grapple with the loss of their son. With a heavyweight cast led by Sam Worthington, Zoe Saldana, Sigourney Weaver and Kate Winslet, Eliza Herbert takes a look.
Avatar is back. In the third instalment, Jake, Neytiri and their family leave the depths of the sea for the volcanic Badlands, where they meet the fiery Ash people. Another Na'vi warrior clan, led by the formidable Varang, who's played by actress Una Chaplin.
Your goddess has no dominion here.
Getting the job of my dreams, because I was such an Avatar fan, and then walking onto set and feeling that support and that family vibe is just so strong and thick, so intimate.
Each new instalment is a visual feast for the fans of the iconic saga, and each emphasises the importance of respecting natural ecosystems, a point of significance for star Sam Worthington.
You know, this destruction of the ocean has always been close to my heart. It's where me and Jim first connected 20 years ago about. He's very, he's very cognizant of what we're doing to this planet and how we can kind of, be better.
Once again, director James Cameron pushed technical boundaries to fulfil his vision. And right now, he says he is in no hurry to plan the sequel.
I'm not even thinking about form. Are you kidding me? I'm just thinking about what's going to...
him back.
With a substantial budget of over $250 million, the new Hollywood blockbuster once again emphasises spectacular special effects and even breaks Cameron's own record with over 3,500 digital shots.
Tell her it is time.
That brings us to the end of the show. We're going to leave you with a new immersive virtual reality expedition that will transport visitors back to ancient Egypt during the construction of the Pyramid of Cheops. You can dive into this ambitious construction project at the Eclipso Centre in Paris. Thanks for your company today. See you next time.